Who wins the Brownlow medal in 2021? That's the question on a lot of people's minds at the moment, with the Brownlow medal coming up tonight. We're going to be seeing who the top players are to take out the Charlie. So, let's get right into it. If you do enjoy it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. Here we go. So, a few top picks. We've got the guys, Clayton Oliver, Marcus Bontempelli, Jack Steele. Those three float around a lot. Obviously, Oliver probably the standout player for the Demons. Not like standout. Obviously, Petrarca will also be up there, but I think Oliver has had a very, very good season. He's probably our career best season. And for me personally, he's my tip to take out the Brownlow medal. Marcus Bontempelli, he's probably the general public's favourite. The general public, a lot of them are saying Marcus Bontempelli, and you can see why. He just has that consistent impact on Dogs game after Dogs game after Dogs game, and he really has got the Western Bulldogs in the position that they got themselves in this year. Jack Steele, obviously, been phenomenal, career best year, and this year I think is his first real shot to win the Brownlow, because there aren't many St Kilda players, there won't be any St Kilda players really stealing a heap of votes off him. So I think Jack Steele is going to poll in a ridiculous amount of 3 voters, and I think Steele will really poll high up there. Darcy Parish is interesting because he had a really good little patch in the middle of the season from about round 8 to round 12, just like those few weeks leading up to the bye round. He's been a little bit missing ever since then, but still he's a very big chance. Christian Petrarca, along with Oliver, I think that will be the only determining factor whether Oliver does win the Brownlow, is if Petrarca steals a big amount of votes off him. Same with Max Gawn. I think Max Gawn will steal quite a few votes this year. I don't think Gawn will contend, but I think he'll steal votes off them too. Travis Boak, they've got him here as one of the favourites. I don't really see him as a favourite. He's there. Sammy Walsh, again, no Carlton players are going to be stealing any votes off him. It's whether in that little Carlton form slump that they had, whether the umpires are going to give him the 3 voters, because he'll be the one polling 3s. He won't be polling maybe 2s, I'd say. Maybe 1s in the Carlton losses, because, you're only going to be polling 1 voters. So, yeah. Tom Mitchell, I think, is very, very under-talked about. Already won a Brownlow. People just say he's just, he just gets the ball and goes backwards. I think Tom Mitchell has a massive impact for Hawthorn. I've watched a number of Hawks games this year, and I don't see where all the Tom Mitchell slander comes from. He makes a massive impact in and under for Hawthorn, and I don't think that they would be having a good end to the season like they did if it wasn't for him. David Mundy's here. In the first 10 rounds, he was well on track to being the favourite for Brownlow. Mundy was a real chance, but later on in the season, he didn't go missing, but he had a few more poor games. Jared Lyons, I think he's a very, very big contender, potentially cracking in the top 5. Lyons, very excited to see how he polls for Brisbane. Got a few players that could steal votes off him, but for the most part, should hold his own. Ollie Wines, I think Wines and Oliver are my 2 favourites from Melbourne and Port. Wines, again, he'll be polling a lot of 3 voters, particularly late in the season. He was very, very good for the Power. He's racking up 35, 36 possessions almost every week, and he was definitely a standout for Port. Callum Mills and Luke Parker are here. Parker did win the best of fairest. I'm not sure he came second. I assume Mills, because Mills, for me, when watching Sydney games, was a big standout. But yeah, I don't think they'll really contend, but they'll do well. Cam Guthrie here. I thought Guthrie in the first 10 rounds, when I did my mid-season prediction video, I had Cam Guthrie finishing in the top 3 for the Brownlow medal. I thought Guthrie was going to make a big push, but in the end, he didn't really. I mean, he got injured earlier on in the season. I think it was just after the bye rounds he got injured, which probably made a big impact, but still, I don't think he would have really contended. Hugh McCluggage for the Lions is probably the one that would be stealing votes off Jared Lyons. Rory Laird, I think he's a contender to crack into the top 5 for Adelaide. No players stealing votes off him. I even think he could be polling some 2 voters in the games that Adelaide lose, which would really push him up the ranks. I think Laird's very good. Jack McRae, I think, is very under-talked about. First 10 rounds, he was the nailed-on favourite, but I still think he had a good end to the season. Didn't have an amazing end to the season, still had a good end to the season. I think he's a Brownlow chance. Max Gawn, He won't have a chance, I don't think, but he was one of the players stealing votes off Petrarca and Oliver. Gaunt, yeah, he was incredible this year, wasn't he? Particularly in that prelim final. Yeah, I think we're going to end the video off there. I've just gone through some of the favourites for the Brownlow medal this year. Leave your thoughts on who's going to win tonight down in the comments. Have a good one, and see you later.